The life of the late Francis Winston Springer Sr. was celebrated on Friday, June 16th during the funeral service at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. His brother Cletus Springer paid tribute in song to the veteran Caribbean broadcaster. Friend and former colleague in the early days of radio, Winston Hinkson, noted the outstanding contribution of his fallen comrade.
Not just to relate a narrative of old, but to recount historical facts which relive important events to enable the understanding of current events and the consequences. This is why he was so at ease when there was a broadcast of an event of national significance, which rooted in the land and in the heart and the core of the nation.
News Force caught up with some of his friends and loved ones following the Thanksgiving service. Senior Minister Stephenson King says the late communications specialist provided his wisdom and guidance as he eased into politics.
Certainly a guy who was dedicated to the cause, dedicated to his work, very talented, a sound professional, known regionally and internationally. And one thing I do remember, which is a soundbite that I'll never forget. On many instances, whenever we were putting pieces together, at least to address the nation and to give information, we always said we must give credible information. And the soundbite was, if in doubt, leave out. I'll never forget him for those words.
Former Prime Minister Bryan Pilgrim conversed with Winston mere minutes before his passing. He remembers him as an objective and balanced individual.
I'm saddened by the death of Winston. I spoke to him about 20 minutes before he passed, and I was surprised when I got a message on WhatsApp that he had passed. I immediately called my brother Vance to inform me of the situation, and while Vance was speaking to me, Vance told me he's just getting the same message, so it might be true. So Winston has gone. We shall miss him because he was a friend to many in this country, and I believe that Winston is now in a good place.
Former Consul General to Martinique of St. Lucia, Kit Compton, says the island has lost a treasure trove of knowledge.
There's not a lot of documentation about ourselves, and it's a pity, but we did not have a chance to document all of that. In fact, we had spoken about going back in time and talking about things like Carnival, remembering what it was like when we were young. We were speaking about that just, I think, the day he died. We were talking about this as a project, and it came as a great shock to me, to get this message saying that he was no longer with us. We all knew that he was ill, but I guess we all hoped for the best. I hope, as Junior said, that he managed to get some of his notes so we can put something together. I think the country deserves it.
Francis Winston Springer Sr. was an independent freelance narrator and commentator, information, radio and television broadcaster, and a communications specialist. Winston worked at Radio St. Lucia for about a decade before taking up an offer in Radio Antilles in Montserrat. He then took up the post as general manager of Radio St. Lucia. His last contract was with the government of St. Lucia, providing coverage for parliamentary proceedings. Winston won the M&C Fine Arts Award for documentary he co-produced with his brother Cletus Springer entitled Country in Crisis. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.